I think basically the idea comes from somewhere in our head, so to speak, which we can't really control, or we can't. It's not in our power actually to really be to in a way we are in a way. I mean, I can only talk of myself, of course. In a way, it has to do, of course, a lot with inspiration. And inspiration, that's actually the highest thing what you can have in music. In a way, it has a really also like a mystic or spiritual aspect. The idea that where is this inspiration actually coming from? In a way, because you can't be so bold and say I can control it, and every time I sit down I can write a great piece of music. No, actually, we are in a way we have to sit down and maybe meditate or go into the music, or listen to the music in our head, go really deeply into the space to receive inspiration actually. And then it's a question where it's coming from. Of course, as an atheist you would say definitely it's just in our head, of course. But when I'm in the music, when I'm really playing and I'm really have the feeling I'm losing myself in that music, this has a real like a different aspect to me. It's really like more like a metaphysical thing. Then I really feel I have to, in a way, I have to get rid of myself, my ego, to receive music, and to then try to transform it, or to let this impulse go through from this inspiration through my head into my fingers on the instrument, and then that it comes out. And I try to, in a way, I try to step out of the way, and because that's actually the feeling. That's a feeling when you make music, you can't control it in a way that every note, every dynamic, and everything is like an intellectual thing. I mean, you like speaking actually. You can't think about every word. You just do it. It comes out. The words come out, and they make sense. But actually, when you ask yourself, why did I use these words, or why did I stop there, and why did I speak this word in that kind of a pitch, and then went to another word in a different kind of a pitch, and these things, you can't really, it's not conscious. It's really like an unconscious field, and I think this is really the thing you have to acknowledge as a musician. You are not in the power by sheer knowledge and intellect to make music. You always have to step back. You always have to lose, in a way, try to avoid your ego that is not coming in the way, and so that inspiration can flow. That's actually where like melodies or musical ideas come from. When I compose, these come from that space. Of course, there are also like intellect, like decisions, and maybe I ask myself, what kind of a piece I want to write, or what kind of project is that, or should it be more a sad piece, or more rhythmical, more dance-like piece, or whatever. Of course, I mean, but then when it comes to the actual notes and the actual ideas, I mean, they're just like also like endless possibilities. And why you pick that one possibility is really like you can't explain that. It's just coming and it's there, and then you go with that idea, and you only go with that idea if it really is touching you. And that's something what's more and more important for me, is that what I want to play, what I want to compose should really touch my heart. I should be really moved by that. And when I come to that, I mean, when I get this idea and when I think, wow, that's beautiful, that's actually really nice, and then I even go there and try to make it even stronger by maybe trying a little bit with rhythm, with tempo, of course. That's also a big consideration. Like minor changes in tempo make a huge difference on the like emotional effect. And for me, especially important is dynamic. What I'm doing with dynamic. I mean, like a melody, like just, you know, if you just have like something like if I just play that, then there's already so much information, what gives the whole thing meaning. I mean, it's just a simple thing. It's like a perfect fifth going to a minor sixth, and it's just eighth notes, and it's just alternating two pitches, and they ring together, of course, and form a kind of harmonic thing also. But yeah, I mean, that's I lose track here. What I want to say is just I have something, and then it really grabs me, it really touches my heart, and then I go with that and I try to make it more and more strong. So until I'm really satisfied with like an initial idea, and that's actually this gives me the force, you can say, or the power to move on from that. If it's really strong, like the compositional process, it's much more easy than if it's not so strong. Very often I'm stuck with certain ideas, you know, like I have something and I think, okay, that sounds nice, and I go on and try to compose a song out of that, to make a composition, and then it's not working in a way. I try many things and think, oh yeah, maybe that's it, but it's never really what really touches me. And most of the time it just has to do with the idea itself. So if I worked a lot, like trying to go further from one idea, and it's really I'm stuck there always. I try again and again, next day or one year or 1 month later, and then I finally figure out, no, maybe I have to change the idea. And sometimes it's very little what needs change. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, I will come to that later. I think there will be more questions, and we will talk about the process also and stuff. Yeah, and also this question is actually really good, because I think like melody is really one of the most important things. I mean, for me, like, and also I really like that I really like to quote actually like Dmitri Shostakovich, because he once said in a letter to a friend, and that friend was like a composer, and they were really like they interchanged like letters, and that friend, he always wanted to have some advice about his compositions. And Shostakovich, he found that his biggest weakness is actually his melodic writing. And then he wrote in this one letter, and that's actually like really a great quote. He wrote, be careful about your melody, because in a way the melody is the soul of the music, And when that soul is damaged, in a way you can say that the whole composition is not existing. And I really like this quote, and I really like this idea that a melody can be damaged. You know, it really has like a spiritual or metaphysical aspect. I'm thinking a lot about like music is a miniature of the universe, or of a universe, and it sounds very strange, of course, but in a way, when you're dealing with music, you understand that, I think, because you're dealing with forces, with gravitation, with like there's a tonic, and the tonic is like the main thing there, like the sun, you know, everything gravitates towards the sun. It's really the center. Everything there, it's resolved, you can say, and in between, like you have the earth and the moon. You have also some gravitations, and these forces are really like also the intervals in the harmonic series, and that goes on and on and on. Also has to do with time, with rhythm and pitches and everything. So it's and that is not actually just an abstract idea. It's also very practical, very concrete, you can say, because I'm always thinking when when I have an idea. Let's take an idea. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, inspiration. Please help me. Well, let's go on with this. Maybe let's just take that, for example. Now, these three notes, there are actually like many ways how to play that. And you can get there very scientific. You can just try to find every possible variations of dynamic, of rhythm, of time signature, of ways where to play it on the instrument, and or whatever, what tonality, what transpose it, or play an octave higher or lower. But you can also just, in a way, like meditate on that idea, like that you think, okay, so when I play that, for example, I can just vary it in certain ways, like, or and every variation gives a different meaning to these three notes. And then when I'm composing and when I want to write a composition with that, starting with that, I really try to find the way how it should be played. Like what in a way, what is this inspiration or this unconscious or soul aspect, or this universe, miniature of a universe aspect. What is it? What does this want? So how like the nature, the inner sense of the whole thing, how does that really so how does it want to shape this idea? So for me, I really have to, when I reach the F, I want to stay there, because I think that's actually the meaning of this phrase, is the F, is that tension, that emotional quality. And so I want to rest there on that note. I want that the listener, and of course myself, is a listener also when I play. I am a listener also when I play. I want to have time to really get into that mood of the F, to really listen back to that note. If I just go on with another note, then this idea what I had before is just lost, because I don't give emphasis. I don't give emphasis anymore on this F, and so in a way I lost this. You know, it's really, I think it's that's also a kind of a mistake. I find a lot in music, and also in my own compositions sometimes, that I'm just too quick with moving on to something else. I mean, especially in my solo project, actually, where I just have the guitar and some singing, of course. I just started to do that. Then I really enjoy having silence, having space. You know, that I really can just go to a note and let it ring, and then it will just fill the room, and it will just be there, and we are in that mood, and then I go on to something else. So I can really I can go on with something else, but I'm really in that mood, and that's something you that really also has to do with this with finding with really finding the way these three notes how they actually should be played, or how they should be arranged or composed. It's not just E, A, F. No, it's really like also like dynamic. That makes a huge difference. I would really go to the F as the most strong note, because that's actually what I want to say, and the other notes are more background, or more like the what's just around it. I mean, just the background is maybe a good idea. Good word for that. It's like or surrounding, or this frame also. Like the F is my note. That's something I want to say. But it's not just an F. It's in that frame of this tonality, or in the context of other notes. I want to go to that F, and I want to show that, and the other notes, for me, it's more natural not to emphasize them so much. So it's not like ba da di or ba da di. No, it's ba da di. And what I'm just doing, I mean, I'm singing these notes, and that's something you should really do when you want to compose melodies which are really like connected also with this unconscious state, or which like really with you, because the singing really shows very often. I mean, if you sing something, there are so many informations you're giving unconsciously. It's a really good idea to sing something, and then to really think about what did I just do actually. I mean, how did I sing that? Ba da dee, da da dee, or like da da dee, no, da da dee, no, da da dee, da da dee. For example, if I sing it like da da dee, I do a little rest there after the E. And then I have a long note. I can. instead of, yeah. But I would go for the more legato way, because it has a kind of a calmness. This is more the emotion I want, and then I want to have this E and the A less strong than the F. The F should be really should be it. And then I can make a little vibrato on that to really go on that pitch and make it more natural, more live, or more, yeah. Also, here with the F, it has to do with microtones. Of course, that it's nice to also have this F a bit higher or even a bit lower. It's also a possibility. So you can do it a little higher. You do like, yeah, this idea. That's also very nice. And I really enjoy to really go very deep with that and to really find out what the music actually wants. So I step back and I really go into what is there in a way, what is already there. Maybe that's more the thinking. What is already there? I don't want to invent something. I want to find out what is already there. And like there's some music I just listened to. There was a duo playing Spiegel im Spiegel, like from Arvo Pärt, like Mirror in the Mirror. I don't know whether it's the right translation in English, but it's so simple. It's incredible simple, but it really has this it really has this quality of it was already there. Arvo Pärt just found it and had written it down, and that's a kind of a quality I'm really looking for. I mean, I'm really trying to explore and to search for that quality. Yes, since I'm composing almost always on the guitar, on my instrument. Actually, this, how do I want to make it sound on the guitar, and what kind of notes I come up with to form a melody. It's actually in a way like really connected. It's one thing. Yes, I play it on the guitar. I'm searching. Of course, I'm searching a lot. What I said also in the first question, in the first answer, to the first question, I play a lot with dynamic, for example, also with rhythm, and also I'm thinking, of course, about transposing, playing something in different octaves, and also on different strings, which gives really like a different timbre to these two notes. So I can, for example, I can do that. Like we stay with the first fragment. Yeah, that's very cool because I can let ring the open A string. Yeah, and that's actually something I want to have there. It's really these two notes, A and F really have this strong meaning. But I can play it also here. It also sounds nice. More mellow, of course. Or I can play it here. I even could play it like here. Or I can play it like on one string. I could add some ornamentation. Yeah, like also finding other ways. I mean, you can do that very scientific actually. If you're thinking from like the guitar, you can be quite scientific in just checking all the possible ways you can play something on the instrument, with harmonics, with open strings, with in different registers, transpositions, octaves. Yeah, I mean there's all, and also these different ways. When you think in different ways, you also get inspired to do different things. You know, like different ornamentations, different dynamics, and that also has to do, in a way, I think this also has to do with this actually miniature of the universe. Because if you change something, like you make one planet really small, or you put it in a different place, then the whole thing will change, and you are more like you understand, or you find out that there are different possibilities. Then it opens new doors, you can say. So that's something I'm really I'm also really concerned if I'm starting a composition with to really make this initial idea quite strong, and I'm not immediately I'm not just satisfied if I found something. I want to really check, is there more, or can it be a bit better, or more natural, maybe more simple and more profound in a way. And so all these ways, these variations, they are just for that purpose, to really give a strong emotional quality, you can say. This question I partly answered also in my previous answers for these previous questions. Um, just in general, I really would. I'm really listening. I'm listening to what I found. For example, I have this idea, and then I ask myself, where does this want to go? So in a way, I step back, I open my ears and my heart, and I ask myself, where you want to go? Where is your destination? What do you want to say? Of course, it's like a bit schizophrenic, of course, because it's always you, but you can really, you have different, of course, you have different planes you are on at a certain moment. So you try not to focus too much on your ego. For example, for me, like ego is like, it should be like really technical. It should be really challenging. It should really, like, people should say, "Wow, that's amazing! How can he do that on that guitar?" Or this kind of a quick modulation is really great, and it's so challenging, the whole music and this ability. And these are actually things. It's also sometimes not difficult and not easy, but these are things I really try to avoid. I really, because at the end it doesn't matter, you know, it really doesn't matter. And also like virtuosity and stuff. I mean, it's, I don't know, it should always be about music, of course, and that's the most important thing. So if I find something and it's really touching me, and I think, wow, that's so beautiful, and very often I actually ask this question: how can I make it simpler? How can I make it more simple? Is it possible that it's actually getting stronger by making it simple? And that's also the process of composing, of course. I could now try to think about a lot of stuff here. Actually, I do. Actually, I do think about a lot of stuff, like theoretical stuff, which helps me more to explore. And I mean, like one thing is to ask myself, where does this idea, this fragment, this initial thing wanna go? Where is it? What's this destination? And then I can ask a lot of questions. And these questions are only to find out more about this idea, actually. So one question could be like, is this A minor Aeolian maybe? Yeah, that's using my theoretical knowledge now. It's like, okay, I hear that, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I mean, if I do just that, it really has a sound. But it could be also like other things. It could be also like maybe A Phrygian, maybe harmonic minor. There are some also like weird other scales, and I just have 3 notes, so it can be different things. So it could be one idea now to that's actually my question, and this question leads me to maybe exploring the other notes around that to really find the right surrounding, or the right I always miss this word, context. I mean, the right context of these 3 notes, the tonality. Of course, it sounds really A minor, because when I go back, that's also like, it has also to do with knowledge quite often, because if I just play that, I have like, you can say you have like 3 different intervals when you have these notes. You have the interval from A to E, you have the interval from A to F, and you have the interval from F to E. So these are like, if you just put these 3 notes together, you have also three different intervals there. And it's an idea from Paul Hindemith. So everything comes now here into place when thinking about this thing. The most strong interval here is a perfect fifth, and that really gives the A the most power of being a tonic, like a gravitational force here. So if I play, I can end on A. So that really feels as a possibility to end. If I'm ending on F, I feel D, F should go to E, and E then resolves to A, and that's just in the notes. That's just in this universe of these 3 notes, these gravitational forces, and it's a good idea to be really clear about that, to really feel that, and to know and hear what's happening there in this context. Okay, so I try to listen, and I'm looking, maybe it's A minor Aeolian. So I will play maybe just briefly, not to disturb myself too much, just briefly the notes of A minor Aeolian. Yeah, and I really have the feeling now that I played all the notes of A minor Aeolian, I played this mood, this area of, it's hard, right? I miss a little bit like words today. I play this whole environment, you can say. And in this environment, then I play, and it sounds perfectly perfectly right the way I'm hearing that. So I already found out about a certain scale. When I find out about a certain scale, that opens a door, of course. It opens a door to all these melodic possibilities I can have, or I can compose in that scale. What I like a lot is confirming ideas. Confirming ideas means I don't go on. And then go on with another idea, but I circle around of that idea, and I go more into depth with that idea. So playing around that and make it more meaningful by repeating that, but with variations, for example. And what I'm now doing is like improvisation. Actually, that's also the improvisation is a great tool for composing. It's just trying out different things, go in that direction, repeat that note, play that louder, wait, go on quicker, and everything, and just be in the music and try to listen inside yourself where it wants to go, and then play that. And if you have that connection, then like you're always working from this inspiration, from this inner voice. So you work on you play something, and then I hear Vadi Hadi, for example, to just make this F stronger and to say like E A G F. So. Stay with A minor. I just played here C and F, and I heard it, and I said, because I played it because I knew it could fit. It could fit very nice to have like an F chord there because it's an Aeolian. That's my knowledge. But then my ear said, no, not now. Maybe later. I want to have a different sound, and then I'm asking myself, my ear, and what kind of a sound should be there when I play the C? And then I found out just now it's still A. I don't want to change the root. So what I have until now. I'm still in this A minor feeling. Now I feel, now repeating the same thing again, no, now it should move on, maybe to another chord, maybe to another whatever. Yeah, that's always I know something, or I ask good questions, what kind of a tonality, what kind of a scale, and then I go on, and that's actually Just again, so that's my process actually. I have an idea, and then I use all the knowledge I have to try to just briefly to try to open other doors, and or to find out how many doors there are, and I just try a little bit to open that door, and if it's not really opening like directly and very easily, I just leave it closed, because that's not the right choice then. Yeah, or this image is like going walking through a town you've never been before. So you just go there and you see something and you say, oh no, that's possible to go there, but it's not so interesting. That's not really my what I want to see, what's my mood in a way. And I go there. Oh, that's nice, and you just go there because it's obvious that you have to go there, and you in this metaphor is the musical idea, of course, here in this compositional process. Okay, so there was one thing I also wanted to say. Oh yeah, the next question now is actually, should it be really rubato? What I'm doing now is rubato. So that's also a good thing early on, of course, to if you don't want to have a rubato thing, to establish a tempo or a rhythm. Maybe it was already there. Maybe it was already the idea. You felt like maybe you felt something like that. Then you are already in this rhythm. Then you can just explore from there. Then you have an additional thing. But it for me now, since I already have a lot of notes actually, when I'm thinking about rhythm and tempo, yeah, I feel that it could be like something like slow, of course, quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3. Yeah, so just a normal 4/4 bar. And when I'm not really satisfied with, again a 4/4, it's so it's maybe boring, then I try other time signatures, a 7 or 5 or 3/4 or whatever, and but I will not. When I try out these different ways, I will not make my decision on that's more interesting. It's really about, does it really touch me? Is it really something what's giving something to me in a way? And I really feel very strong, if you find something what is really touching for yourself, it's really moving you, it will also touch other people. You don't have to care too much about the other people. And especially because if it touches yourself, you are able to play the music very meaningful and very into it, and people will also feel that. You really, I mean, if you have some speaker and he says something what he's not really believing himself, then you feel that. But when he's really into that and he really is so much into that topic and has this very this opinion, this very strong opinion, you listen to him, and you in a way you think it's real. Maybe it's not your opinion, but it's strong, it's real, it's connected what he's saying and how he's saying that. And that's also a problem a lot of with like music which is going by very, very quick, like a lot of notes in a very short time. It's impressive very often, but at the same time it's not possible to give like every note meaning. So it's in a way it also can lose something. And very often these very simple melodies, they are really grabbing, and that has a reason. That is not. These are not very often, like also in pop music or in folk music, these melodies, you may say, they're so trivial, they're so naive, they're just not of a high artistical or standard or whatever, but they have a quality which you only have with these simple, can only have with this simple music, when you really go for the simple idea what is really grabbing you, because that's actually like a lot of folk music, you know, from all these different cultures. It comes really from the heart, and it's meant to touch the heart, and it's not very it's not artificial. It's really, sometimes it's raw, but it's really like direct, and that's also something I'm really it's really interesting for me, and I'm looking for that. I use pen and paper. That's the main tools. When I found something, I write it down very quickly. When I think, oh, that's it, that's cool, that's nice. I wanna keep that in a certain way. I just write it down, pen and music notation, manuscript paper. And I'm the process of composing has really a lot to do with writing stuff down, and then later on think, okay, that's not so good, so I erase that, or I go on with a certain thing, and then I found out a different thing, and then I write that down, and sometimes I erase something what came before, so that suddenly I have a completely different idea. I mean, it's just a process, and this process you will see on my hand writings. You will see that this, when I have these pages, they become really more and more messy, because I erase some stuff. I mean, not with an eraser, but with my ink pen, and then I write something very little, and maybe some words there, and errors, a lot of errors. You like from there go there, because this arrangement of ideas also can change very quickly. I mean, very drastic also. Sometimes you have like you start something, and then suddenly you think, you play that, and suddenly you think, oh, there's something missing in between two bars, and then I figure out, okay, that's maybe that should be there, and then I write it somewhere else and make an error there to that. So this bar should be in between of these two bars, and sometimes also like there are bars which do not really make it into the final composition, but which are like great ideas for other compositions. And also what's there's a lot of stuff actually to say about that, but maybe it's not so interesting for you. I don't know. I have a lot of sketches of small ideas, and when I want to compose something, either I have an idea, I just get an idea, and then I think, okay, that's a great idea. I just got it, and I want to compose a song with that, a composition with that. Or I go through my sketches and just play them, and then ask, and try to find out a fragment or a sketch which really grabs me, and then I say, oh yeah, that's great, and that I really feel that now, and then I go on with the composing process. And sometimes I try, and it doesn't work. I don't get like any ideas how this composition sketch can develop compositional. So I put it away. I go to the next sketch. And sometimes sketches in different times, like they or different tonalities, I later find out that they're really greatly working together. So I transpose them in the same key, and I put them together, and maybe there's a time signature change or something like that. But it was actually this Fading Flowers is this song. This is actually like they are like three completely different sketches, ideas, and they really came together there. And I really like that song, and that's a really good example of you have different. It's also a video here on YouTube of that song. You can also check out the notation, and by knowing that now you hear, oh yeah, these are really three different things, but they work together, and that's very often in the compositional process. You work on a certain idea, and it will generate other ideas which you will use later. Or what's also happening with me very frequently, because it's all written down, and then, for example, I start with a certain idea, and then it develops to another thing, to another bar, to another fragment or piece of music, and which I like. And then going back again to that first one, suddenly I think, oh no, it should go in that direction, in a different direction. So I compose in that direction, but I would not erase the second, the first version. I just do my arrow there, and I go from there to there. And later on, very often I can use also this first idea, just this extra bar or extra notes, or I can use that for a different part in the same composition, because it's really related to that. It came out from the same idea. So that's like really like rearranging things, and yeah, it's actually a quite messy process. What I said already, but and it goes on, and then I use my software, Sibelius software computer program. When I'm a certain point where I think, okay, I know in which time signature that this is, in which tonality, or if I have something really ready, I mean maybe just 3 bars, then I go to my computer and I write it down. And then I print it out, and then I start the whole process from there. So I get messy again with that. I try different ways how to proceed the whole thing, and then it's the ink will fill more and more the page, and then at a certain time I go back to my computer and I write it down very nice, and then until I'm satisfied. And also sometimes I use a recorder, like a Zoom recorder, or just my phone when I'm outside, or I don't want to set up everything. That's the reasons. Sometimes are like different. Sometimes I'm just walking outside, and an idea comes to my mind, and then I would just sing it into my phone for later, that I don't forget it. Also, if I'm composing and suddenly like a really long passage shows up, like I think, okay, this idea now, for example, if I have that, and I hear like, when I would, maybe if I want to write that down now, and I think that was really good. I don't think so, but if it would be something what I think, wow, that's really great. I try to immediately record it on my phone, usually, just to have it, to not forget it, because when I write it down, the whole time feeling of time it's slowed down, and it really happens very frequently that I forgot something, or how it was at the end, or there are some notes missing which I don't remember anymore, and that's a pity, of course. So I use this device this possibility to record myself, to not forget something, especially if it's like longer. If it's just some notes, I write it down, of course. And normally I also don't listen. Normally that's enough, just writing it down, writing it down, and not recording. But sometimes recording is very good if it's like very the way you're playing, like the timbre, for example. If you think, oh, that doesn't sound good, but you think more like, you sing more like in a different way, maybe some, like that, then it would be not possible to write that down. It's not possible. I mean, it's always like an abstraction what you write down, and so I would, if I would go for that idea, I would make a recording of that, and to really keep that, to remember when I maybe want to go on tomorrow or in 1 year with this composition. I get a clear idea what I wanted at that time when I composed that. Another thing why I would record something is about form. If I already have like different parts, like an intro, like an A part, a B part, or something, then the question comes: how is the form going? How many repeats are there for the A part? Is there some extra bars maybe at the end of the B before going to C, or is there maybe something missing, or whatever? And then what I'm doing then, the feeling for form comes really if you hear the whole thing or if you play the whole thing. And that's actually the way I usually I compose it like that I just play it, and then I know, oh, now it feels I have to rest for one bar, or it feels I should repeat this A part again. And that's and in this at that point with that idea, or with that thing in mind, I just play it while I record it. And then I find, then while playing it, I know, oh, now it should go to the B part, and I'm doing that then. And then I think, oh, the B part should repeat now when I'm there. And I do that. And very often, just playing it once and making these decisions right in the moment to which part I want to go, very often gives me the form of the whole thing. Like in one go. And then I have this recording, and I go back to Sibelius. I put on the recording step by step, or piece by piece in a way. And I write it down, and then it's not finished, of course. It's in a way, it's I also see like compositions, in my case, especially with my solo program, but maybe also with other projects, they're all in a kind of a process. So when I play them, I sometimes I feel, oh, I need to repeat this part again, or improvisation should be more. I mean, that's another thing also, because I use a lot of improvisation in my music. Sometimes I do not fix too much. Sometimes I keep melodies very simple and open. I mean, very, very, very simple, to be more able to make like different interpretations or different improvisations around these melodies. And if it's already everything, every detail and ornament is already fixed, that is not, gives me, mostly it doesn't really give me like a satisfying experience with playing it, because I feel like a classical musician who is just make an interpretation of what's written there. No, I want to be in the music, and I want to be able to go in that direction. And with a certain, if you limit, in a way, if you limit certain, sometimes certain informations, if you don't write the exact dynamic or breathing signs or whatever, then you have more freedom, and you can also like sometimes even vary the melody, because you know what's important, and you can always go back to that. That's also something important. But of course, if I sing like a certain dynamic, it's very important here at that point. It should be like pianissimo, and there it should be like really forte. Then I write that down, of course, and I do that every time. Maybe on purpose, I would just also go sometimes when I play in a concert, I would go into different directions just to explore, because I actually have really trouble to repeat myself. I think like repeating, it's artificial, you know, because it's always, when you play something, it's always, you are always a different person. It's always a different kind of a piece, and it's always a different audience. It's always a different room. So I think like improvisation is really one of the main considerations also when composing. Either in the way I'm composing by improvisation, but also like to come to a composition which also gives me some freedom to give myself who I am in that moment into the music, into the composition.